Let's talk about kick-out flashing. Kick-out flashing is a piece of metal flashing used when the roof stops and the sidewall continues to direct water away from the structure. As you can see here, the roof stops and the sidewall continues. Furthermore, there is a window right there. If that piece of kick-out flashing isn't there to direct water away, water is going to end up going right behind that window, and this will be a water entry point for the new homeowner. You've probably heard me discuss the need to drain your tank water heater periodically. I suggest annually to get any sediment out of it. When you don't do that and it builds up over time, as that water starts to heat, you can hear a rumbling noise, and I'm going to take you in for a closer look at one that's doing that today, or a closer listen, I should say. So that sound is a telltale sign that we are dealing with an older water heater that hasn't been very well maintained. This particular one is from about 2007, so it's probably on its way out anyway. Not that it needs to be replaced right away. It still is heating water just fine, but it just has a lot of sediment in the bottom, and it's probably affecting the amount of hot water that's actually stored in the tank. I do suggest draining it now to get as much of that sediment off as possible, but being that it's starting to make these rumbling sounds and it's a 2007, it leads me to believe that not too much more life should be expected out of it, but no reason not to run it until it goes out. Look at this awesome sliding door. I love this new hardware. It's kind of cool how this opens up. Pulls out, there's your handle. The only problem is it's installed backwards. The lock's on the outside. Not exactly inspection related, but I wanted to show you that this is an asp, otherwise known as a flannel moth caterpillar. Check it out. While they are super cool looking, these suckers pack a punch. And if you brush up against one of these, they can leave a painful rash and sting. I've actually never seen one move, but this guy's moving. And now I'll be moving away from him. Just underneath the roof line where the shingles stop, you can see something called drip edge flashing right along here. And if you follow it, it actually goes around the corner and wraps around up to here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see. You can see that right there. Let me take you to the other side of the house to show you what we're dealing with over there. So, as you can see, they did not finish wrapping the drip edge flashing around the corner here, and we have this piece kind of sticking out, and then this whole area right here is left exposed. This being a new construction house, it shouldn't be any big deal for them to send a roofer over here and improve this situation before the buyer moves in. And just maybe while the roofer's here, they can go ahead and take this cap off this plumbing vent stack too. What's up, folks? Today I'm on a pre-drywall inspection. Now, usually, regardless of the type of inspection I'm doing, you're seeing me run around the house, barking at all the things that I don't like. Well, today, I'd like to point out a couple of things that this builder's doing that I actually really do like. Now, the builder, in classic fashion, is going to remain nameless because they're doing some things that I do like, there's a fair amount of things that I don't like as well. But let me show you some of the things that I'm really liking that these guys are doing. First thing I'd like to go over is this window pan flashing. Even though it's a 2x6 wall, they have used pan flashing material that extends all the way from the outside into the inside and goes up way further than they have to on the sides here. A lot of times you'll find these where the pan flashing stops and doesn't run the full depth of the seal. So I like this, good job. Next thing I want to talk about is in relation to PEX plumbing. Now, oftentimes these folks will run this PEX plumbing and they'll just put an elbow in it and stub it out right here, and the PEX will be stubbed out right here, and so that whenever they go and install valves a little bit later, it'll be kind of loosey-goosey inside the wall and it won't be tight and secure. These folks have transitioned to copper, and they have fastened this copper stub out to some framework, so whenever you go and install these valves, they'll be nice and tight and secure. These folks are also using a rot-proof door jamb on their exterior doors. That's fantastic. As you know, if you have an older home, this door jamb always tends to rot out in this area. And that's where I'm gonna end this video. Some good things for a change. All right, you guys, have a good one. It's a rainy morning, and I'm walking a roof with zero concern because I have my Brunt work boots on. These things are killer for roof walking, even in the rain, mind you. I don't advise it, but whatever, I'm up here anyway. Why am I up here? Because issues exist and they have to be found. Let me show you what I'm finding today. This is a 1-year-old house, 11 months. I'm doing a 11-month warranty. Check it out. Plumbing vent stack here, it's just fine. This one here is fine as well. This one, but these two over here, they have the caps on them. That one's got a cap, This one's got a cap on it too, different kind of cap, but it's got a cap. Also, here's your dryer termination here. And if you look closely, you can see that it is full of lint because they have a screen on it catching all of that lint. I bet their dryer is not working very well. Plus it says remove screen for dryer. So obviously some folks don't know how to follow instructions. We also have some lifted shingles. Check this out. Right here, you can see that shingle's lifted up. And I don't know if you can really see this or not, but there's a nail right there that's pushing it up. And it's raised up maybe about 1/4 of an inch, and that's the reason why that's happening. Walking around on this side of the roof, and we have 2 more capped vent stacks over here. See right there. And then finally, we have some exposed fasteners such as this one. Although it's disappointing to find this kind of stuff on an 11-month-old roof, it's a good thing these folks had me out here today to find it. That way they can get it fixed before the builder warranty expires. Hey Flipper, guess what? You can paint the brick on the side of the house. You can paint the siding on the side of the house. You can even paint the foundation wall on the side of the house. But I'm still going to notice the spalls and the exposed rebar in the foundation. If you find yourself saying, it's not supposed to do that, you're right. It's not supposed to do that. I just love it when I walk up onto these poorly flipped homes. Check this out. We're missing a storm collar here where the flue here meets up with this jack. This flange is not installed and incorporated with the shingles properly at all. And guess what? This is very loose. While you're spraying paint all over the house where it's not supposed to be, why don't you go ahead and put some on these metal parts on this roof? This stuff will rust out eventually. Plus, without it being painted, it just looks terrible. I'm doing a pre-drywall inspection today. This gives us a chance to see what's going on with the structure before the drywall goes up, and then it's pretty much covered up and gone forever until it causes you a problem. Take a look at some of the things I found today. We have a dryer duct here, and you've got a maximum distance of 35 feet with these, and they subtract 5 feet for every 90-degree bend and 2.5 for every 45. As you can see, we got 2 90 degrees here, and then if we go up further, it looks like maybe a 90, maybe a 45, but this just keeps going and keeps going, so we're well over the maximum at this point. Very long dryer duct. Something needs to be done about that. Next, you can see we have these foundation anchor straps that are missing fasteners. We got some more right here, and this trend just kind of continues through the entire house. Next on the list is electrical wires running through framing. They need to be set the proper distance from the face of the stud to keep from having nail damage. This one over here is a little sketchy, but it's actually okay. We can live with that one. This one over here is entirely too close to the face of the stud, and so it's going to need to be protected by a nail shield. It's kind of strange that they couldn't get this right since they had 6 inches to work with here. Now we have some ductwork running through this vaulted ceiling, and as you can see, the insulated cover has started to pull apart. Good thing we found this before the drywall went up. And finally, for this video, we have a plenum here. You can see it has some damage to it. Also, we have a disconnected duct. If you look closely over here at the bottom of the screen, that duct is completely disconnected.